In a major escalation in tensions between the U.S. and Iran, the top Iranian general has been killed in an airstrike while leaving the Baghdad airport. The Pentagon confirmed the U.S. military carried out the attack.
Iran appears to be standing down after it launched overnight more than 20 missiles at Iraqi bases where U.S. troops are stationed.
The Iranians kept their promise and may have bought some time.
World War III, anyone? Assalamu alaikum, what's going on everybody? By now you've probably heard of the news of the US airstrikes that killed one of Iran's most famous and influential generals, Qassem Soleimani. You might be wondering, who is this guy and why now? So, let's get acquainted. Qassem Soleimani was the head of the Quds military force, which was responsible for foreign military operations outside of Iran, mainly in the Middle East. He was said to be one of the main masterminds behind pro-Iranian militias in Iraq and Syria, and behind multiple proxy wars in the Middle East. He was also credited with being a strong force in the fight against ISIS, and played a very important role in defeating them. So overall, I'm not here to claim this dude was a saint. If you're behind militias and proxy wars, chances are it means you've killed a lot of innocent people. But the US government can't really claim moral high ground here either. You know, because they've killed more people. Also, the reckless behavior and military strategies gave us what we know today as Al-Qaeda and ISIS. Hell, even the government they're fighting against in Iran right now, they are partially responsible for. There's a little bit of US and British influence just sprinkled on top. It's what history will come to know as Influence Bay. Now that you have a little bit of background as to who Qassem Soleimani is, the question is, why did the US kill him now? While many theorize as to what the possible reasons for the assassination can be, let's just stick with the facts that we know. Number one, we know history is bound to repeat itself because, you know, we never learn from it. When Bill Clinton was president, you know Bill Clinton, right?
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yeah, Hillary's husband. When he was facing impeachment, he launched an airstrike in Iraq stating that there was a military need to do so and to do so quickly. This ended up delaying the impeachment vote. George Bush, on the other hand. Remember that guy? Also one of the first presidents to almost be hit with footwear. Yeah, that Bush. He used 9/11 and invaded Iraq, of all places, with claims of weapons of mass destruction, which of course were never found. And through all of this, got re-elected. Trump now facing impeachment and also is up for re-election. He approves an airstrike in Iraq to assassinate one of the most famous and influential Iranian generals, citing his intelligence sources that this was to prevent future attacks. Habibi, Trumpy, what sources? I'm sure they're the same sources that told us about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq that we're still looking for.
Later, the Pentagon tweeted, "This strike was aimed at deterring future Iranian attack plans."
Cool story, bro. Then we take into consideration what the former head of NATO said. General Wesley Clark had previously made a statement about the US wanting to invade and attack or start wars with 7 Muslim majority countries.
I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." And by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper. He said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today. And he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran."
And to top it all off and put the cherry on top, in 2018, the Trump administration backed out of the Iran nuclear deal, which was aimed at preventing Iran from developing nuclear weapons. And Iran was part of this deal and it was going through with it as well. Fast forward to today, with all the above happening and the airstrike assassination, here is the aftermath. Iran swears revenge. Lebanon's Hezbollah vows for retaliation. Over 1 million people in Iran attended Qassem Soleimani's funeral. And if 1 million people attend a funeral and you're the person who killed him, I smell trouble. Iraq, or Iraq, or as we call it, Iraq, they plan on kicking out the remaining US troops out of the country. US allies are still in a state of shock. There's a bounty on Trump's head. And now Iran is out of the nuclear deal, which means they get to develop whatever nuclear weapons they want. So, taking all of this into consideration, it appears the US wants a war with Iran. And as we all know, whenever there's a war, the rich and multinational companies are the ones that profit, while soldiers and innocent civilians are the ones that pay the price. Allah yustur, and inshallah, God willing, this war will not take place. Also, a message for Canada. Justin Trudeau, listen bruh, if your phone rings and it's the US Trump administration, don't answer. Stay away from your phone. We are not getting pulled into a war here. People still like Canada, okay? Let's not change their minds. I still want to travel the world and not fear for my life. With that being said, that's all I have about this topic. Please let me know what you think about this whole situation in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. I'm That Muslim Guy, and until next time, hopefully there will be a next time unless I get kidnapped, killed, or World War III starts. Until then, Assalamu alaikum. Peace be with you.